guys, and welcome back to my channel where we're about that breaking cycles life. Now for today's encouragement, we're going back to the book of 2 Kings, and it's chapter 8 and it's verses 1 to 6. Okay, and I'll read for you, but the scripture will be in the description box below. I won't put it on the screen, but I'll definitely give you the reference. Okay, so I'll read for you. It says, "Then Elisha spoke to the woman whose son he had restored to life, saying, 'Arise and go, you and your household, and stay wherever you can. For the Lord has called for a famine, and furthermore, it will come upon the land for 7 years.' So the woman arose and did according to the saying of the man of God, and she went with her household and dwelt in the land of the Philistines 7 years. It came to pass at the end of 7 years that the woman returned from the land of the Philistines, and she went to make an appeal to the king of her house and for her land. Then the king talked with Gehazi, the servant of the man of God, saying, 'Tell me, please, all the great things Elisha has done.' Now it happened, as he was telling the king how he had restored the dead to life, that there was the woman whose son he had restored to life, appealing to the king for her house and for her land. And Gehazi said, 'My lord, O king, this is the woman, and this is her son, whom Elisha restored to life.' And when the king asked the woman, she told him. So the king appointed a certain officer for her, saying, 'Restore all that was hers and all the proceeds of the field from the day that she left the land until now.'" Okay, so this woman is the woman I spoke about I think the day before yesterday, the Shunammite woman, right? And that is Elisha telling her to go and dwell somewhere else because famine is coming upon the land. What's the lesson to learn right here? Guys, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to do what God is telling you to do because you're afraid to lose your possessions. Because she could have been like, "You know what? I know if I leave this land, I probably won't get it back. So I'm going to stay and I'm going to just go through this famine. I'll work it the humanistic way, and I will just prepare myself for the famine, da 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 da." Right? No, she humbled herself and she obeyed the man of God, and she went and dwelt somewhere else where she could have been sustained for the 7 years without fear of getting, whether or not she knew she was getting back her land or not, right? And when she came back, it just so happened that the king was speaking to Gehazi, which was Elisha's friend, Elisha's assistant. And you see how God just orchestrated that in that moment when they were speaking about Elisha and the king was asking Gehazi to speak about how great Elisha is, that was the appointed time that the lady returned to the king to ask back for her land that she had left 7 years prior, right? And it's in that moment that God had orchestrated that you see the king was able to restore her land, and that was the blessing. So what is it that I'm trying to tell you guys? Don't be so caught up with earthly things that you're afraid to do something that God commands you to do. It could be leaving somewhere and then you're not going to go because you are so in love with this land, or you're so in love with this material thing, this earthly thing. No, let's not get materialistic. Let's look at things from the point of view where God is able to restore anything tenfold, right? Just as how he was able to give the lady back her land, he's able to move you from where you thought it was best for you to stay and place you somewhere even greater. Or he'll move you from that great place that you were for a moment, and then he'll restore you that very same thing, right? So don't limit God, or don't get so attached to earthly things that you're like, I can't. No. If it is that God is bidding you to do something, follow his leading, and you'll see him work things out for you, just as how he worked it out for this lady in restoring her land. So that's our encouragement for today, guys. Don't fear, or don't get attached to earthly things. Just trust God in all that you do, and follow his leading in everything. Okay? So have a great day, guys. Bye bye.